You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a life coach, Nancy can teach you how to stay strong under pressure and work through challenges you face. Being legally blind, Nancy inspires others to be resilient in overcoming obstacles and live full out. You can ask Nancy for advice in your life on relationships, finance, business, health, and more. Just call in at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. Now, here's Nancy.
Thank you for joining us today. I'm Nancy Solari, and this is the Living Full Out Show. And today we're going to talk about being patient in life. I'm raising both hands because we all know, right? Patience is not easy. We want things now. We live in a very much a instant gratification society sometimes, and I get that. Sometimes it's hard to, be on the edge of our seats of life and just kind of wait and be patient and let those promotions come our way, let love come our way, and sometimes we just want it now. Well, stay with us because our inspirational guest, Plaskas, also understands the need to be patient. After, due to an injury and then a benign tumor and a surgery that went wrong, a whole series of events, he ended up losing his ability to speak, his ability to move his hands, his legs, walk, and most of all, his memory. And that is probably one of the things that has been the hardest for him to overcome is just remembering things. So, being patient is one of those major keys to life. And I realize we're all going through this time right now in society, in our world, where there's a lot of uncertainty and there's hopes and dreams that we've all had for ourselves. And, we're worried, gosh, will they come true? Has time passed me by? And I want you to not worry because your greatness is within you. It's never going to leave you. Now, your greatness might pop at 20. Your greatness might pop at 50. It might pop at 90. I tell you, I had a client a couple years ago back, and he started his business at 94 years old. That's right. And it popped. And he ended up, I believe, handing it off to his grandson. So it is never too late to see those hopes and dreams for yourself come true. Now, if you want to hear today's show again, make sure you go to livingfullout.com. All of our episodes are there by topic, so pick the one that's most relatable to what you're going through, or if you do have an Alexa, or if you're on the go, you can look for Living Full Out Radio in the App Store. Now, we are getting word that we have a caller on the line. Let's go check in with them, see what's going on. Hi, welcome to Living Full Out Show.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi.
This is Ethan.
Hi there. Yes, hi, Ethan. How can I help you?
I'm doing well. I just wanted to ask you a question. Basically, lately I've been feeling pretty burnt out due to the stress of online school. The election just happened in COVID. And I was wondering if you have any tips or tricks you could give a college student who just wants to feel re-energized.
Yeah, those are all kind of tough pills to swallow, right? They're like the big pills, not the little teeny ones. Yeah. And so they're hard to gulp down. When you wake up in the morning, what is the biggest stress lately? The biggest one that comes to mind?
I think coronavirus, probably.
Okay. And is it the fear of getting it, or is it the fear of how it's turned your world upside down?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think the fear of getting it and also not really knowing when it might end or when things will start to get better. I think that's kind of what it is for me. Right.
And the thing about life is things getting better. We have to remember that phrase, right? Because if you've ever been in a relationship that kind of went sideways or wasn't going well, I wonder if it will get better. And you either end the relationship or it does get better. Same with a job. Oh, I wonder if this will ever get better, right? And eventually you quit that job or does it get better. So the good news is you've actually been at this crossroad before. And I realize that if we make this pandemic the big bad gorilla, it will be. Mm-hmm. Now, it doesn't mean that we can go out and do everything we used to do. There are changes. But some of the changes are positive, believe it or not. Interviews for jobs are being done by Zoom, by phone. that means that it's opened up your ability to work anywhere. You don't have to just work from your hometown. You could get a job globally, anywhere you want to be, right? Also with a lot of relationships, it's kind of brought, as much as it's been made us distant, it's brought us closer. And so when you want to get energized in the morning, I think you just have to look at what can Ethan control? What can you control?
Right.
You can control your ability to hit your deadlines on time. You can control calling those that you love every day and telling them that you're proud of them or you care about them and check in on them. You can control moving the benchmark forward for your career goals, personal goals. But you kind of have to leave a little bit to faith, a little bit to our leaders to hope that they can work this out. But if you try to take it all on, that's when the big gorilla gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay? You're making that gorilla bigger by feeding the fear. So fear is false evidence appearing real, right? Now, the COVID is there, right? This pandemic is real. But will this go on forever? Oh my gosh, is there going to be any toilet paper left, in our future, right? If we feed that fear, then we're making it bigger. I also am very curious because I think energetically it's important to wake up, and feel calm and peace in the morning. But I also believe that sleep is essential. So do you also kind of harbor all this and go to sleep with it on your mind?
Yeah, I do feel like I have lost some sleep over it, and I feel like there are nights where I'm just kind of thinking about it and just the unknown of what might happen, and I feel like that's what keeps me up at night.
Right. And I want you to start finding some new habits at night to help relieve that. So when something is on our mind, it's on our mind because we're playing it through over and over again. Our mind doesn't want to forget. Our mind festers. We worry. And that is why journaling is so powerful. And if you're not a big writer, maybe this is the time. But literally a notebook next to your bed, jot down what's on your mind, jot down your concerns, jot down how you feel. If it's something that you feel like you need to do in the morning and you feel like you don't want to forget, jot that down. Or have a recorder next to your bed. That's what I have. I actually speak out my thoughts. And then the other thing is it's really important to surround yourself almost like a blanket with motivation at night. I actually have an Alexa in my room, and I turn on motivational either speakers or music, and I go to sleep with those thoughts in my mind, not the thoughts of the pandemic, not the thoughts of, the worries. So I would just try to find some new routines, even a shower or a bath at night, something to calm the mind and body. Make sure your tummy is full. Don't go to bed hungry. All of those things will lead you to sleepless nights. Okay? But I hope, go ahead. What were you saying?
It's I was just kind of doing anything to get your mind off of the big worries and trying to relax before going to sleep.
But don't let one fester become another. Okay? Meaning that I love that you're calling in and you're asking about this. But sometimes again, if we concentrate on what can I do? I can't sleep. What do I do? Oh my gosh, I'm tired. I need to get juiced up. I gotta work. I gotta be present. I gotta be alert. I gotta, that is going to set its own new layers of problems, right? So I do believe the words that you say to yourself out loud and also the words that you say in your mind are also very powerful. I will literally say out loud, go away, if there is a thought that is not toxic or not serving to my day. I tell it to go away. So in some ways, you have to be the leader of your mind and your heart. And so I do hope that some of these tips I've given you will help. There's no real magical pill, unfortunately. But you know what? The good news is we are all in it together. We're all just going to muscle through it. Okay? But I appreciate you calling in.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
You got it. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
I love that he actually asked that question, right? Because we're talking today about being patient. But how do you be patient when you feel like there's so much swirling around you that you don't have control over? I mean, we can go out there and get a job and we can go through the motions of life, or We can, choose to stay in a relationship that's kind of humbum and we're worried if the grass really green on the other side. But before you take action, be patient. Think it through. Think about options. Think about resources or people or time or money you may need, and then leap. And then when you do that, you'll be confident, you will have been patient, and you will live your life full out. Stay with us. I'm Nancy Solari. This is the Living Full Out Show, and we'll be coming right back with Rob Plaskas telling his story of how patience really allowed him to channel the peace in his body, in his mind, so that he could thrive despite his disability. Stay with us. We'll be back.
Dad, this is fun. I didn't think I'd like kayaking.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, but I think it's time to head back in.
Okay. Can we come back?
Sure.
Tomorrow?
Let's check with Mom. Hey, be careful getting out of the boat.
It's a kayak, Dad.
I'm going to return the kayak. Just make sure you have everything.
Yep. Can we walk home?
How about a taxi? 233 North Maple, please.
It's a short fare from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Also, find fun activities to do like boating and biking or camping and hiking, plus much more. It's all right in your naturehood.
Best day ever.
A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
Don't you wish that getting your child to eat right, move more, and spend less time in front of a screen could be as easy as pushing a button? It might not be that simple, but you do have more power than you know. And you can maximize that power with proven strategies, tips, and tools from the National Institutes of Health's We Can, or Ways to Enhance Children's Activity and Nutrition program. We Can offers all kinds of resources, including fun recipes and activities the family can do together to show you the way to live a healthier lifestyle. We're not saying it's easy. We are saying that it can be done. Take the first step today. Call 1-866-359-3226 for a free We Can Parents Handbook. And be sure to visit the We Can website at wecan.nhlbi.nih.gov for free information too. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Today, my new dad and I shot off a rocket in the park.
Today, my new son and I failed to shoot off a rocket.
He knew exactly what to do.
I had no clue what I was doing.
We set up the rocket.
Hit ignition.
And then
nothing. Sometimes I laugh when I'm frustrated.
Then out of nowhere, the rocket launched into the air.
The rocket did get into the air.
I've never seen anything fly so high.
And then crashed into a kite.
Look out! Look out!
And then the pond.
I'll never forget that day.
I'll never forget that day, even if I tried.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are. For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
When I was little, I didn't talk for a long time. I liked things to always be the same. Anything new or different would scare and upset me. I was very sensitive to lights and sounds. It was almost like I had bigger eyes and ears than everyone else. So I built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. I didn't like looking people in the eye. It made me feel uncomfortable. I'd throw big tantrums over little things like when my socks didn't match. Sometimes I'd do the same things over and over. Until one day, I found out I had autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I learned how to live with it better.
You can see signs of autism in children as young as 18 months. Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. With Nancy's expertise, you'll learn how to embrace your potential and strive for success. If you have a question or need further support, send us an email at connect@livingfullout.com. Now, here's Nancy.
Thank you for joining us today. I am Nancy Solari, and this is the Living Full Out Show. And today we're talking about being patient in life. And we strive every week to bring you inspirational guests that really demonstrate how they got to living full out. And in this case, this guest today needed patience every step of the way. So with his journey starting oh so young at 11 years old, getting through an accident, being hit with a hockey stick, I mean, that sounds painful, but yet finding out that he had a benign tumor. And that's really where it all started. So I'd very much like to welcome Rob Plaskas to the show. Welcome, Rob.
Hi, thank you for having me on your show.
Oh, we're so happy to have you. And Rob, you know, I'm going to kind of go slow here with my questions because I know sometimes, you know, with the memory loss that you've had and everything that, you know, you got to kind of take it in, but we're going to get through this, okay? And I appreciate your courage in telling your story because sometimes interviews can be intimidating if you're worried that you might not hear a question or it's hard in our memory to process, you know, what someone is saying and quickly come up with an answer. So you are my hero, Rob. I appreciate you being here. I want to take our audience back a bit because, you know, it was the injury, you know, it was the hockey stick injury that, you know, the accident with that kind of kicked off you learning about this benign tumor at age 11. And when you were 13, you started to feel some kind of funny feelings. You know, the doctor thought for the most part, hey, this tumor is a pea size, it's benign. You know, hey, just let me know if you feel any weird symptoms. And, you know, 2 years later, you did feel something different. What was that?
It was a unusual feeling. It's called a spell. And my spell would be like, I feel like blood rushing down my body in my arms and legs, and it lasted maybe a minute. And when that gets done, I needed to sit down and just. No one would bug me then, and that's what it is.
Right, and you know, it's hard sometimes when something is happening. I know people will say to me, you know, Nancy, what do you see? And I'm like, how do I tell you what I see being legally blind? It's sometimes you can't find the words, so I get it. And I know that, you know, you did reach out to your doctor as he had instructed, and they actually misdiagnosed you. They thought you had epilepsy, giving you kind of all the medication for that, until at 16, now 3 years later, you felt another sensation. Was it the same or slightly different?
It was the same, but it was intense.
But more intense.
When this happened was when I was playing basketball in a summer league, and I was playing, and then I had this big spell, and I had to sit down, and I didn't know what happened to my brain and my body. And my mom, she decided to I should get a MRI at a local hospital. When that was done, and I found out my tumor wasn't a pea size; it was a walnut size, and we knew then I have to go into the operation and remove my tumor.
Well, and at 16, I mean, that's a lot to take in. I mean, here you were, just so everybody knows, I mean, obviously Rob is so kind now, but even back then, you were really smart. You were a good student. You were popular. You were an athlete. You know, there was so much potential for, you know, who you could be and wanted to be in life. And at this point, you just thought, hey, this is just going to be surgery. They're going to remove the tumor and all will be good, you know. And in fact, they even said that you could wait a couple months. You know, we'll do it in the new year. So at 17, you went in for the surgery, and it was going well until it wasn't going well. What happened?
Well, the tumor was coming out. Removing the tumor was fine. He was no complications. But on the last little piece of tumor, he ruptured a vessel. And I began bleeding about 1.5 liters of blood. And in the operation, I was up the whole time. So I didn't know what was going on when you said medicine. And when you say medicine, it means I'm going to be in induced coma.
Wow. And so you just kind of remember those words, but then before you knew it, you were waking up, you know, a week later. And they were able to thankfully stop the bleeding, which was good. They didn't scar any tissue, which was also good because that could have damaged your eyes. But when you woke up, your world was upside down. And I know that one wakes up kind of slowly from a coma, but you could tell right away that things were not right. What was the first thing you noticed?
My body, my right side of my body can move, and I was like, oh no, but I couldn't say it out loud because I couldn't talk. And that also scared me big time. And I was the only one in my room at that time, and I wanted answered. I had to wait about a minute until my mom comes in and said, like, it's okay to me. And I wanted to say, like, what happened? Please tell me. I'm not disabled. And I was then the doctor came in and told me I had a massive stroke, and I was down big time. I was depressed for mainly a long time.
Yeah. You know, Rob, when you just said all that, I was with you. I can't imagine thinking something I want to say and it's not coming out. I can't imagine not being able to move my body. And again, courage is what I think about when I think of you. So stay with us, everybody. We're going to be coming back with more of Rob's story. I'm Nancy Solari. This is the Living Full Out Show. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this break.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari.
There are many sounds in your day-to-day life. There are sounds that wake you up. Sounds that make you smile. Sounds that energize you. And sounds that help you relax. But there are some sounds that can alert you to danger and can help save lives. Wireless emergency alerts, now on many mobile devices, use a unique sound and vibration to bring you information about severe weather events, Amber Alerts, or other emergencies in your area. With critical information from local sources you know and trust, you can be in the know. wherever you are. For more information, visit ready.gov/alerts. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hello, my name is Jeffrey, but people in this town call me Maniac. They call me that because I'm the fastest runner in town. But just because everyone knows who I am doesn't mean I belong. I don't really belong anywhere. You see, I'm an orphan, and I wander the streets just looking for a place that I can truly call home. My name is Maniac McGee, and I'm all alone. Explore new worlds. Read my story in the novel Maniac McGee by Jerry Spinelli. For other great book ideas, visit your local library or log on to literacy.gov. Brought to you by the Library of Congress and the Ad Council.
Look for the bare necessities.
The bare necessities of healthy living are easier than you think.
You better believe it.
And the food pyramid shows you the way. With just the right amount of exercise and the necessary grains, vegetables, fruits, milk, and meats and beans.
Just the bare necessities of life.
So eat right, be active, and have fun.
Yeah, man.
For your own path to a healthier you, visit mypyramid.gov.
This is really living.
This message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Agriculture and the Ad Council.
Hi, my name is Nancy Solari, host of the Living Full Out Show. I am excited to let you know that we are now associated with Alexa. If you have Alexa in your house and you didn't know that, go ahead and find Living Full Out because you can hear us anytime you want, and we're there for you to keep you motivated. Go to your app store because we're located there as well. Just look for the Living Full Out radio show. It's important to us that we put out really inspiring programming, but we want to make sure that you have it at your fingertips when you need us most. We never know when those challenges are going to come, when we're going to feel lonely and need that motivation. So just know that when you need us, we're here for you. Check out Alexa, the app stores, or go to livingfullout.com. Here's to you living full out.
What if I could tell you that a full-blown wildfire was going to occur tomorrow right where you live? Tell you exactly which neighborhoods it would engulf and how fast it would do it. The first thing you would do is talk with your loved ones and make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a wildfire will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you make a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait, communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a life coach, Nancy can teach you how to stay strong under pressure and work through challenges you face. Being legally blind, Nancy inspires others to be resilient in overcoming obstacles and live full out. You can ask Nancy for advice in your life on relationships, finance, business, health, and more. Just call in at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. Now, here's Nancy.
Welcome back. I'm Nancy Solari, and this is the Living Full Out Show. And today we're talking about being patient in life. And we're going to be continuing our interview here with Rob Plaskas, who really had to be super patient after complications during a surgery left him with not being able to communicate, not being able to move his hands, his legs, and just where do you even begin? So I'd like to welcome Rob back to the show.
Thank you.
Hi. Hey, so Rob, again, I so appreciate your honesty at the end of that last segment because, it must have felt scary and isolating to not communicate. And I can appreciate feeling hopeless and just really freaked out. And I don't know where one finds any positivity to dig out of that. How did you pull yourself out of that into a place of, I got to get my physical mobility back?
I had a psychologist, which helped me out a lot. I met with him in the beginning each week, And after my rehabilitation hospital, I still saw him every month just to get my emotions out.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because I think there's so much power in being able to just vent or talk to somebody and get those worries and concerns off your mind, out of your heart. And, you had always been an athlete, again, smart, a go-getter, and you kind of made a dedication to yourself that you were going to physically get as much back as you could. And what was your first milestone? Well, it may have seemed small. It was big to you. What was that?
I was able to move my leg, my right leg. It wasn't much, but I could feel my right quad move, and that gave me hope.
I love that. And I know that they were helping you stretch and do all sorts of different therapies. But I imagine the most frustrating part was when you knew your mind knew it wanted to do something, but you couldn't get it to do it. And I think for you that was trying to move your hands. How did you minimize those frustrations? How did you stay positive?
The one thing I have to do, my life turned upside down, and I needed hope, and I kept using my hope.
Hope is very powerful, and you have to really wrap your arms and legs and mind all around that to get through hard times. And we're talking today, about being patient. And I know for you also had to be patient with yourself when it came to social circles. You were smart, you could understand and you liked to learn, but it was hard for you when you first started college because, you couldn't really communicate. Your speech ability hadn't come back yet. But thankfully, when you transitioned from community college to your university, they did have a speech pathology center that did help you. What therapies kind of got you talking again, got you communicating?
Just talking with a speech therapist, student, and fixing my R. I had a tough time as a child. I couldn't say R, and that gave me some hope too. And eventually, I was able to talk with my speech therapist smoothly, and also on my social life, I began talking to a lot of people, and that gave me promise.
You know what? I love that. And you really, I'm being legally blind. I can't see anything, but I definitely talk a lot in my profession. And, being here with you today, it just really anchors for me the power of how important it is to be able to talk to somebody and communicate and hear and see and just all those senses that I'm not saying we take for granted, but wow, when they're taken away, and it's devastating. Kudos to you. I'm so proud of you for clawing your way back to speak again, to walk again. Now, I know that, even in the realm of your career, you got a communications degree, a political science minor, and you had found yourself in the early years as a substitute teacher and, pretty much just taking attendance. It was pretty easy for you. But what I appreciate about your story is even though talking was still difficult and, clearly, you were trying to get back to that new normal. Today, you are a communications analyst and you went through internships. And do you still feel like it's hard to keep up with everybody that's fully able in life? Or do you feel like you're beyond that now and you can keep up?
I feel beyond that. And I don't use my disability to say, I can't do that because I have a disability. and I'm just like you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, you and I are two peas in a pod. Literally. But the thing is, the other thing I think is important about your story is the memory loss that you've suffered as a result of the complications of that surgery way back when you were 17. What is that called, and how does it affect you today?
I forget things each day, but that's why I leave sticky notes so I can remember things like I'm supposed to take the dog out. Sometimes without putting a sticky note, I'll forget.
Mm. Now, one of the things that I think is also important is self-care. And you've really focused on physically staying in shape. Why is that so important to you?
Well, I could get dementia in time, so that's why I exercise 5 to 6 times a week. I play chess for my brain exercise. I am not depressed because being depressed could lead to dementia over time and many other things.
Mm. And I'm curious, Rob, when do you ever say to yourself, like, why me? Like, why did this happen?
Yes, but I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at, like, hey, I should be dead in that operation. I got a second life, and I'm not going to be depressed because I can't do some things that I could do before my operation.
You know, you give to me and so many of our listeners right now a lot of inspiration because you've pushed through getting your physical mobility back. You've pushed through finding ways to manage your memory loss and even get that back. And I know that, you know, one of the milestones that everybody tries to have in life is some sort of a relationship, whether it be a dating or marriage or whatever. And how have you managed that? Because so much of it is about communicating.
I like to communicate with women because women, I believe they understand my situation, and that's basically it.
Yeah. Well, as we round out the show today, Rob, what does living full out mean to you?
It gives hope to others.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of your goal, your purpose in life is to give hope to others? Yeah. Well, I have to say I am hugely proud of you, and you have many, many friends here at Living Full Out, and I so appreciate you telling your story today, and you give a whole new definition to patience with all that you've gone through. So thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you.
Thank you. And for everybody listening, I'm so blown away every week by the guests that we have on the show, just like Rod Plaskas. And the thing is, if you have an inspirational story, we very much like to hear from you. Reach out to us at connect@livingfullout.com. Let us know what you've gone through. We've all gone through heartbreak, financial loss, maybe addiction. Maybe you were in an accident, or in Rob's case, had complications due to a surgery. But that is what connects us all, is our ability to survive, our ability to stay positive despite hard times. And so again, reach out to us at connect@livingfullout.com. Let us know, obviously, your name, your contact information, what you went through and how you've come out the other side. And perhaps we can have you on the show. I also want to make sure that, Rob mentioned in his story that he did speak to a therapist that did help him get through that time of being really desperate and depressed. And that is what our show is here for, is to give you that inspiration. But by all means, if you are going through something right now that's really hard, I want to make sure that you reach out to a hotline in your area or contact us at Living Full Out. Again, it's connect@livingfullout.com so we can get you support and resources. So we're going to be coming right back, though, obviously taking more of your calls. Today we are talking about being patient in life, and those are not just words. That means sometimes we just have to hold on tight and, just like Rob said, have hope and know that on the other side, everything will be okay. But we have to kind of get through the tricky times to come out the other side. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this break.
Well, Jason, I've got to tell you, you're pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
The following message is about Medicaid and CHIP, free or low-cost health coverage for kids and teens. Enrollment is open year-round.
Hey, voice lady, give me the mic.
Okay.
Hey, DJ, let's switch up the music. That's better. So listen up, moms and dads out there. There are these programs called Medicaid and CHIP. They offer free or low-cost health coverage for kids. Things like doctor and dentist visits, prescriptions, and shots are covered. All the stuff that keeps kids like me healthy and in charge.
So, as you can tell, a covered kid is a confident kid. And it means confident parents, too. To learn more about affordable health coverage for your family, visit healthcare.gov or call 1-877-KIDS-NOW. That's 1-877-543-7669.
Yep, you could do something big for your family today because enrollment is open year-round.
This has been a message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
And Sophia.
They're going to jump out of trees. You can't stop them. They'll go down the slide head first. They'll make parachutes out of sheets. They'll balance on things that are impossible to balance on, like the back of a couch or a windowsill or a scooter seat. They'll run with sharp objects. They'll run into walls. They'll climb things that won't hold their weight. They'll put their fingers in places where they could get smashed. They'll drive their tricycles down steep hills. They'll bounce balls off their faces. They'll step on each other. They'll jump on each other. They'll invent whole new ways to put themselves in jeopardy. But one of the most dangerous things kids will do happens while they're sitting perfectly still. Kids who ride in a car without a booster seat are much more likely to suffer serious or fatal injury during a crash than kids in boosters. But amazingly, 80% of all kids who need them aren't in them. After a toddler seat and until they're 4'9", booster kids, and don't let them down.
Go to boosterseat.gov to learn more about the importance of boosters. A message from the U.S. Department of Transportation and the Ad Council.
Have you ever lost a cat? And have you ever wanted to get your cat back after you lost it? I'm Andrew Hoffman. I invented the Lost Cat Magnet. Just turn it on and lost cats stick to it. Just listen to one satisfied cat. That's proof. You should invent stuff too. But remember, don't do a Lost Cat Magnet.
Anything's possible. Keep thinking. Get started on your own inventions or just play some games at inventnow.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, the National Inventors Hall of Fame Foundation, and the Ad Council.
We're your pets, and this song's dedicated to those people who don't have health insurance yet. Enroll, we say. We want you to be okay. Enroll, we say. Take care.
Health insurance is now affordable and covers prescriptions, hospitalizations, and preventive care. Visit getcoveredamerica.org to learn more.
And take care, people.
Brought to you by Get Covered America and the Ad Council.
When it comes to being patient, you always want to harness that warmth, that hope, that desire inside yourself. Because with all the things that whirl around us, to stress us out, to make us nervous, you have to have that anchor, that bright light within you that you can turn up and shine when you need it most. That's how you stay patient.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. Nancy is here as a guide to show you how to rise above obstacles and savor each moment. If you have a question, call in live at 800-333-0001. That's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Thank you for joining us today. I'm Nancy Solari, and this is the Living Full Out Show. And today we've been talking about having patience in life. And I did not realize how much I was going to learn patience through being legally blind, but it has definitely kind of pulled me back and has allowed me to kind of sit and listen and take in experiences with all my senses. And you better believe some days I'm more patient than others, but I'm proud to say my middle name is Nancy Patience Solari. Not really, but that's just how much I've adopted today's theme. And, it's interesting how life will scoop up our need to learn a lesson. And sometimes we need to learn the lessons of patience and kind of slowing life down, not trying to keep up with the Joneses, right? Not trying to check every box, but actually take in the goodness of life or learn from the hardships. So, it's sometimes we just got to take a deep breath, right? And just be patient. So I'm getting word from our producer that we do have a caller on the line. Let's go say hello. Hi, welcome to Living Full Out Show.
Hi, Nancy. This is Emily. I have a question for you.
Yes, what's going on?
I was wondering if you have any advice on how I can become better at confrontation with my friends.
Confrontation is never fun. That is, I'm so sorry you're even going through it. Now, I'm curious, though, the confrontation, can you give me a little bit as to what is kind of spiraling everything out of control?
I think it's mostly just, with closer friends. I don't really want to, hurt any boundaries or, cause any tension. So sometimes I would rather just, keep things to myself than, bring something up with them.
So that's interesting, and that I can appreciate that. It's funny, we're talking today about patience, and I bet you have a lot of patience, right?
Yeah.
Because you probably bite your tongue a lot, not literally, but you probably have a lot of things that you want to say, but don't say them. And that is one strategy to avoid confrontation. But what I want to do is encourage you, as we leap into the new year, I want you to consider standing up for yourself more or expressing yourself more. Because what if you don't say something because you think it's going to ruffle that person's feathers or get them all excited in a bad way, right? The thing is, if you kind of do that person a disservice, because a lot of times our family, our friends, they're a mirror looking back at us. I can't tell you how many times my friends have kind of set me straight or had me look at a situation a little bit differently. And I'm so glad that they said something because I was kind of going in a different direction, but my friend would make a statement and I would go, I didn't think about that. So what if something that you have, your opinion, your thoughts, your view of the world, what if it enhances that friend's ability to grow? If you just agree with that friend, you're right, okay, whatever you want to do, whatever you want, right? That person doesn't grow. You're stunting their growth. But if you, in your own way, Emily, kind of suggest, offer, maybe even demand, if you're so bold, right? that something go a different direction, now you're challenging that person to grow, to get out of their comfort zone, to know that they are not right all the time, that they have to bend sometimes, they have to negotiate sometimes. Do you see that?
Yeah, that's a wonderful way to look at it.
So I don't know what your career is currently, what you're doing, but I think you've just become a teacher. Emily is going to step out there, and she is going to be teaching her friends and family so many great insights into the new year, right? Because if you've really been holding back this whole time, think of all the things that you have wanted to tell people that haven't. I love it. Will you promise to call back in, let us know how it goes?
Yes, of course.
All right. Thank you for calling in, Emily. You're going to be great. Don't worry. And don't run from conflict, right? Because, again, you might say something that just opens that person's mind even bigger. So thank you for calling in.
Okay. Thank you so much, Nancy.
You got it. And for everybody listening today, it is all about patience. But to have patience, sometimes we have to be truthful. We have to be honest. We have to express ourselves. We have to be bold and take those risks in life. But I believe in all of you. You absolutely can. I want to make sure that if you want to hear today's show again, you go to livingfullout.com. All of our episodes are there. Also, I have an Alexa at home. Maybe you do too. Just look for Living Full Out Radio in your skills. And, of course, if you're on the go, same thing. We're right there in the App Store. There's to support you all the time. The entire Living Full Out family thanks you for joining us today. We have Rich and Eilish and Kale and Caleb and so many people that just want you to go out there and rock it. Live full out in the most patient way you can. Here's to you, Living Full Out.
Thank you for listening to the Living Full Out Show with Nancy Solari. To learn more about this program, visit livingfullout.com for the latest episodes. Connect with the Living Full Out community by following us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. If you have an inspirational story you want to share, email us at connect@livingfullout.com. Here's to you, Living Full Out.